Hello, hi guys. I am LaQuisha Williams, your world class leader, and I am here to revolutionize the way women show up, celebrate, and support their sisters. And I am so excited on this Friendly Friday to have join me today is the one and only Holly Dresson. Hi, Holly.
Hi, thank you so much, LaQuisha, for sharing this space with me. And my name is Holly Dresson. I'm here to revolutionize the way women of all ages show up in life by pausing, reflecting, moving forward, and having the confidence to do so.
Awesome. So on today, we just want to have a candid conversation about how women can show up, celebrate, and support their sisters. How can we collaborate? How can we be better friends towards each other? But most importantly, how can we be better friends to ourselves? And I know it's so much talk around jealousy, silent hatred, and we're trying to find out where does this come from. You know, all of us came from different backgrounds. I came from a great loving home where love was the basis of how we run our household within our families when we go out in the community. But as I continue to get older, and especially because we're in political season now, it's like so much division. Women can't get along. Men can't get along with the women. It's just like so much, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
and I'm like, am I the only one who wants to get along with everyone? And I have to realize that not only that there's a mean world out there, but if you want to be that change, then you have to make a difference. And that's why we're here today. And we want to share with you our stories, our backgrounds on how it is that we were once strangers and now we are sisters.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely. And that love and forgiveness that we have, that's so important to share with not only others but ourselves, more importantly. And those conversations that we have inside our head, we really need to take control of those and rely on our friends and our sisters.
Yes.
To point those things out to us, because sometimes we do get a little out of hand, and we need our friends to say, hey now, we need to take a step back and pause and reflect and then move forward, because don't you believe that it's important to just take a moment, and with all the chaos that's going around, we have families, we have mothers and sisters and daughters, that we really need to take the time to spend some time with ourselves.
Yes.
And
I'm a big proponent of that, because if you are not a good friend to yourself, you cannot be authentically a good friend to others, a good mom, a good wife, a good significant other. You cannot do that if you're not taking care of you first. And it all boils down to you. Do you love you? You know, it took us so many years for women to be able to vote. It took us so many years for black women and white women and Hispanic women, Asian women to come together. But what has gotten into the place? Ego, pride, feeling that I'm better than the next one. Where has all that come from? It took us so long to be able to stand in our truth, own our world, and be confident in who God has created us to be. And I am so passionate about it. Yes, I know people say it all the time, LaQuisha, you cannot be all positive and happy all the time. I have my moments. I make mistakes. But I have now realized that because I'm in love with me, I am able to love others. And I'm able to love my sisters. It doesn't matter what you look like on the outside. So you may be seeing a black woman and a white woman, but we don't see that. We just see a woman. We just see each other as sisters. And until we are able to cross over this barrier that, oh, if you don't look like me, if you don't speak the same language as I do, if you're not from the same country as I do, no, the world is so much bigger than that. When you say that you're a world-class woman, you're ready to connect with the world. You're ready to connect with people who may not speak the same language as you. You know, one of my prayers are to ask God for translators, because I believe as I travel around the world, somebody will be translating different languages to me so that I can meet different women all around the world, because there is enough for all of us, right?
Absolutely. And we spoke about this the other day, about getting out of your comfort zone and getting out of the areas that you're so used to going to. You're so used to going to this grocery store. You're so used to saying, well, this is my store. This is my store. Well, the truth is, it's not your store.
Right.
It's just where you're comfortable with going. And going to those new places, you get to learn about new people,
yes.
about new aisles to shop on.
Hey,
right?
yes.
You know, and oh my goodness, well, where's the produce section? Over in my store, it was over here. In this store, well, it's over here. And you know what? You're taking a different direction. And it's really important to be able to move forward, to do things like that and get out of your comfort zone. We talk about that a lot, getting
yes.
out of our comfort zones and,
yes.
and doing things that we normally wouldn't do. One of the new things that I've been introduced to is yoga. Mm-hmm. And you've yet to try that.
Yeah.
And I would love to share that space with you.
Right.
And that's where I found where I was able to pause and do some reflecting and move forward. We really need to take that step back and not look at life, but look at ourselves and take a good look in the mirror and ask ourselves, what is it that you're trying to do? Right. And what is it that you're trying to accomplish? And who are you trying to help? Because life really isn't about us. It's about helping others. And growing up, LaQuisha, I avoided women.
Wow.
I avoided women.
Tell us about that.
Well, I avoided women because I associated that with drama. Mm-hmm. You know, you say let's stay away from the drama. Mm-hmm. So predominantly my friends were male. And I've learned through life, as I've gotten older, I just turned 40 in December.
Ooh, you look good.
And I'm very proud of that.
Yes.
And I'm also a new Christian. So
yeah.
if you can imagine all these different things that are coming to light. Wow. I'm very glad I'm out of my 30s and I'm into my 40s. And I've taken that time to myself to take those steps back and move forward. How important is that to move forward? And realizing that women are so important.
Yes.
You are so important to me and the people that I've yet to meet. The women that I meet in life, the first thing I say to them is, hello, beautiful.
Yes.
Why do you ask me why?
Why do you say that?
Because I know what it's like to not feel beautiful and not hear those words, you look great today, you're beautiful today. And you know, those compliments that we give each other are really important. And when you don't hear them, you don't have that validation of, well, maybe I don't look good. Well, that's that conversation you have to control in your head and have that confidence to show up and be who it is that you are. LaQuisha, you and I are very different. You have long hair. I have short hair. I've had long hair. I appreciate the short hair. It's a lot of less maintenance, okay? But we're very different, and yet we're so drawn to each other because we've attracted each other. There's something in LaQuisha that I definitely needed. And I'm sure there's something about me that she needed, right?
Yes,
absolutely.
Yes,
See, look,
absolutely.
I even needed that validation, and we're here spending that time together, and it's important to compliment each other. It's important to say hello when you haven't in so long. How many relationships do you have that you have not nurtured, but you haven't spent time with those people that you love the most, that maybe 40 years ago, 30 years ago, 20 years ago, 10 years ago, you had a relationship with that person because people come in your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime, right? And even though those lifetime people aren't around, they still made a difference in your life. Those little nuggets that you've gotten from people, that conversation that you had in that grocery store that you wouldn't have had in a different setting. Yeah. You know, and you said hello to somebody and made a difference in their life. Those smiles that you carry, your smile is infectious.
Yes, it is. And I own that.
Absolutely.
I own that. And that's the thing. It does not take anything away from me or from Holly if we compliment each other.
Absolutely.
Because we know who we are. We're good with that. Mm-hmm. So if you can be able to just say hello, if you're able to say you're beautiful like Holly said, it does not take anything away from her. Because she knows who she is.
That's right.
And then what impact are you creating once you enter into somebody's life? Are they saying, oh my God, I don't want to deal with her today? Or they are welcoming you?
Yeah.
People can tell by your energy without you even saying anything.
Oh my goodness. Energy is so important. You know, when you're walking into a room that you've never been into, getting out of your comfort zone, you really need to pause, take that deep breath and say, you know what? I know I'm supposed to be here. I'm supposed to be here just today, on the way here to spend time with you. I knew that I was supposed to be here. I knew I needed to be in this space with you, LaQuisha, and I needed to share our story because we are different. We do have different ways of communicating with people. We're both very, social media is very important to us.
Yes.
To stay connected.
Yeah.
And connecting with people is very important to me, as I know that it is with you.
Yeah.
And social media is one thing where you're online, but you need to get out and you need to touch. And you need to hug. We need to hug and we need to do kisses because you know what, that interaction, because online is so important, we need to step away from what society is telling us. Society is telling us, oh, you need to stay connected online, but sometimes you need to get out and you need to hug your sisters and say hello. I know that there's quite a few women across the country and around the world that I've met on one time or another, and I can't wait to spend more time with you and another time. In the meantime, we do stay connected with social media, and thank God for that.
Thank God.
Thank God for that. Thank God for those people that have created social media. I'm still learning every single day. There's something new about social media that we're learning, and we were speaking about that yesterday as well. And we learn from each other and we grow from each other. It's very important to learn and grow as individuals so you can teach the next generation that's coming up that, hey, I'm just learning about my health. I've recently dropped 24 pounds. Thank you very much.
I think I have dropped a little something too.
Yes, and you have, and it's important to take care of what's going on inside by what you're putting inside of your bodies, right? We're drinking more water. Everybody knows that more water is important to you for your skin. Goodness, I'm a little bit older than you, and thank God that I have decided to start taking care of my family. And you know what? Because I know better, I'm doing better, and I'm teaching my children to do the same.
That is so awesome. And today we just want to share with you guys that you can come from different backgrounds, and be able to come together in a space that we can impact the world. And it doesn't mean that we want to go around and try to change everyone. No, it starts with you. It started with us to make a difference, that we are going to be the change maker, that we are going to be world changers. And it starts with us. And you have to really take that inward look at yourself, that evaluation of yourself. I love to travel, and every time I travel, we have to do a scan. They said hands up. I put my hands up, feet are apart, and then they scan my body. When was the last time you did an inward scan of you?
Oh, absolutely.
When was the last time you looked within inside you and said, okay, LaQuisha, you got to work on that.
Yes.
You got to check up on that.
Yeah.
Or it's good to have sisters that connect with you and say, baby girl, you can do whatever you want to do. I'm going to still love you, but check this. So you want to be able to be around people that are going to help you to become your best self. That they're going to help you pull out of you that you never knew you had inside of you. And that's why we want to have this candid conversation, and I am so enjoying this, because when you're around good people and good energy, the day just starts off amazing.
Absolutely.
I woke up this morning, just couldn't wait to be with my sister. And then when you pour out that energy, I love Holly's family, her kids, and when they see me, beautiful family, hug me, and I was like, look at this. This is love. No one's seeing anything else but the genuineness of who someone else brings, what someone else brings to the table. So you want to be able to collaborate. This is not taking anything away from me. It's not taking anything away from Holly to be able to share our stories. You can connect with us on our social media sites. What's your social media?
Between Facebook, it's just my name, Holly Dresson. Instagram, is an interesting one. It's Holly Dress On, not Holly Dress Off. And Twitter, Holly Dresson. I support my family's business. I also support my dreams. Because as we get older, and I'm a mom, and we forget about ourselves. We're so busy taking care of everybody else. that we forget to make ourselves a priority. And this year, as I'm 40, I have told myself years ago that I'm going to be in the best shape of my life. Now, that doesn't just mean physically. It means emotionally.
A big one.
Emotionally. And that reflection that I did, that pausing that I did, awesome. And the moving forward. Because sometimes it really is just that one step that makes a difference. And that gets you out of your comfort zone and gets you to meet people like LaQuisha.
Mm-hmm. And like you. Yeah. And it's so important. You know what? You know why this is so important, again, ladies and gentlemen that are watching? Even as I continue to grow and get older, everyone knows that I celebrated a fabulous 35th birthday. And I became very emotional. And why was I emotional? Because I was like, I did a reflection. Because many of us have a dream growing up of being married and having kids and living a successful life. And out of those three, I only have one, living the life that I want. But there was a void missing that I thought that I needed to have someone, or I wanted to have a family. But sometimes I have to realize, not sometimes, all the time, you want to be in the will of God for your life. And I said, if I'm not having an impact and doing what I need to do because of just my will, it's not going to happen. So that's why I am so grateful even today that I paused.
And we connected.
And we reflected. Exactly.
And we're moving
forward. And that's what we want you guys to do. Just pause. There's so much going on in the world today, so much chaos. I am not a big proponent of the news, so when I'm hearing people talk about the news, I'm like, is that something I need to go and follow up on? Because I cannot allow negativity into my space. Poof, be gone. You know, you don't want negative people in your space, negative thoughts, negative conversations, because sometimes the battle you are fighting is already in the mind. The things that you do, you're self-sabotaging yourself. Can I do this? Should I do this? But what I say, feel the fear and do it anyways. Mm-hmm. Whatever is going on inside of you, you are able to stand up and say, you know what? I don't know how this is going to turn out. We didn't know how this was going to turn out.
No.
And we said, you know what? We're going to do this. We're not just going to be talking. We're going to putting some action on whatever it is that we say. And that's why it's so important, but it begins with love and forgiving yourselves, right, Holly? And you know, you talk about that a lot.
Absolutely. Through my 40 years, I have had quite the journey, and I've overcome so many obstacles. And it really has to come within. Because if someone's telling me, this is what you need to do, nobody wants to be told what to do. We have to realize that this is something that I really need to do. And not everybody is going to understand why you're doing it. And you know what? Not everybody matters. Right? So I have to tell you, I was a little fearful coming here today. You know, I had quite a journey to get here. I had to drop my kids off at school. I had to get them where they needed to be. I had to have those pep talks in the car. One of the things that I do with my children is we pray every morning in the car. We take these motivational quotes and we have cards. And I always have the kids draw a random one. We shuffle the deck, and I have them pick it. And you know what? It had a lot to do about our conversation today.
Wow.
And I really just believe that there are some things in life that are just meant to be. And some of them we all have accidents. Mm-hmm. We have accidents. But that's not necessarily brought on by us. That's brought on by other people, and we just happen to be in that situation. And we can pick ourselves up out of those situations and learn from those accidents, those mistakes that were made. And it's important to say, okay, this happened in my life. I may have said something that I didn't think twice about, and I just moved forward with. But you know what? I have to forgive myself. Because you know what? God's already forgiven me. God has already forgiven me. Do you know how important and impactful that relationship for me has been? it has helped me pause. It has helped me reflect. It has helped me move forward, and it's helped me connect with you. Connect with all of you. So as much as we're saying that we need to have this connection, we need to have this connection with you. This Friendly Fridays is a great idea, and I hope that we can do this more.
Yes, we have to do it more, because one of the things that, and we touching on forgiveness, and I am one of those, and I'm going to be very transparent with you guys out there without going into detail of anything. But one of the things that is one of the hardest things for me to do is to forgive myself. Is to forgive myself. And I know if I'm feeling like that, I know that so many others are feeling that way too. I can forgive others, whatever, and we can be able to come and talk like it's never happened before. But then I go into my private space, into my safe haven, and cry out, because I cannot forgive myself of wrongdoings that I've done, thoughts that I've had, conversations that I've had with others. But you know what? Like Holly said, thank you.
It is okay.
Yes.
But it's okay.
It's okay.
It is okay. And that's why we have to take those times to go and have that space and cry. I'm really good at crying. I'm good at crying, but I'm really good at laughing. And I'm really good at asking for help. Do you ask for help often? Because if I have a question, I'm going to ask it.
I know you
If I don't know, I'm going to ask, or I'm going to outsource. Okay? If I don't know how to do something and I don't want to take the time to learn how to do something, I'm going to outsource. And one of those things, if you connect with people who are forgiving of themselves and are loving each other and loving others and then loving themselves, you are going to be drawn to those people. Am I right?
You are right.
I mean, the energy that you give off, I absolutely love, and I have goosebumps saying that. I love the space that you create. I love that you respect yourself and you recognize your faults, because we all have them. We all have them, but it's important to be able to what? To realize that.
Yeah. Become aware. You have to become aware of where you are. And it's okay.
And
like
where you've
said.
been.
And where you've been, yeah.
Where you've been and where you're going. All those steps.
You have to. And until you realize that, then you'll be able to move forward. So we're asking you all to pause.
To reflect. And to
move forward.
To move forward.
We've done it. But there has to been some work that we had to do. There were nights of tears. There were lots of long conversations on the phone.
Yes.
They're not like, I'm done. Yeah. I'm not doing this. I'm going to break this cycle.
And then you do it anyways.
And then, right.
You do it anyways.
Yeah.
You don't break that cycle. You just keep going and going. And then at one point, that ball that's rolling, it's going to stop.
Yeah.
It's either going to run out of air.
Get flat.
It's going to get flat. I mean, really.
Really.
And when it does stop rolling,
so good.
You're just like, oh my God, thank God. And how you can reflect back and look and say, I know that the things that have happened in my life from when I was a little girl, okay, I did not have the best childhood. I wouldn't wish a lot that happened in my childhood on any young girl, especially my daughters. Or my son, for that matter. And you know what? Because those tragedies happened in my life, from abuse, from neglect, from not having faith. I had the love of my parents, but I believe that if you don't know, then you can't teach. You could try, but you're not going to get it right. Okay? So I know, so I teach. I know that my purpose in life is to help others. In every business, in every job I've ever had, and every business I've ever owned, I've really wanted to help others, and women especially, of all ages. Because my daughters, I have 3 at the time. I have 4 children. I have 3 daughters. The ages are 18, 14, and 12. Hello.
Hello.
Okay. Growing up in this society versus my society when I was growing up is different. However, it's still the same, because those people that are having those conversations we started talking about in the beginning, the jealousy, the sabotage, the self-sabotage, it all still exists today. You know that where it says history repeats itself? Well, let me tell you, I am going to work as hard as I possibly can to make sure that those lessons that I learned, that I teach my girls, and I teach other girls, and I help other women to not make the same mistakes, to learn from those lessons.
You don't have to. Everyone is going to go down a path that they will have to experience for themselves. Because we all came from different backgrounds and different walks in life, we're going to have different experiences. We're going to bring different things to the table. But there's a saying that when women get together, when women come together, magic happens. Magic.
Oh, I love that word. Magic. You know that's one of my favorite words.
Really?
Magic.
Yeah.
I love it.
So when magic happens, guess what? Just lights, camera, action. You know, I love July 4th because of the fireworks. When women collaborate, when women come together, no matter the difference in their background, magic happens. What magic are you creating in your life among your sisters?
Yeah.
What difference are you going to make today? You can start today to creating the life that you have ever dreamed of. But it starts with you.
And life is what you make it,
yeah.
LaQuisha. I mean, really, and it's easier said than done. I mean, because we've done a lot of work on ourselves.
Oh, yes.
Okay, over the years, we have done some work, and that's helped us get to where we are today. Inner work, not outer work, inner work. But what happens is when you're doing that inner work, it reflects you outside.
Yeah, and then there's no need for judgment or competition, because the only person that you should be competing against is that person, that reflection, that person in the mirror, and that is you. So that's why there's no need to compete. That's why there's no need to be jealous, because there's enough for all of us. But many of women, and it's sad to say, sisters, with all the love in my heart, that we have a scarcity mindset. That if I get, or if I give, that I'm not going to get. But that's not what God wants us to have. He said that He has come that we may have a life to the full until it overflows. What does that mean? He has given us abundant life. Whatever that abundance is for you. Because again, not everyone is your friend. I must say that. And I had to do that once last year. And I had to do a self-reflection. And when God told me that during a time in devotion, and He was like, daughter, everyone is not your friend. And anyone close to me knows that was like, everyone is my friend. I love everyone. Everyone loves me. But that's the world that I created. So when I come and find out that someone said something about me or disliked me for whatever reason, it tears my heart apart. But then because I've done the work, I've realized too that it has nothing to do with me, but it has to do with them. Right?
Absolutely, because you know we have situations like this all the time. You know, we walk into a restaurant or with a group of women. We go have lunch together. Everybody's bringing something else to the table. One of us may be talking about our children. The other one may have been talking about a situation that they had. The other one may be just full of light. And so those two people that have those issues, so it's a 3-person conversation I just created here. Do you see what just happened? Okay. So you've got 2 people that have these situations, the other person's feeling great. So what's going to happen is those 2 people that are uncomfortable are going to talk to the person that has that energy, that light, that forgiveness, that love.
Right.
And you know what? That person that has that love and forgiveness is going to want to give it. and they're going to want to make that person feel better. And if they're not making you feel any better and they're adding fuel to your fire, then you need to realize that and you need to remove yourself from those situations. Really. Right. And it's okay. Finish the lunch, you know, do your cheers. It's very important for me to cheers at the very beginning of a lunch. You got to cheers to why you're here, right? And then say, you know what? You take a step back, you pause, you reflect, and then you turn your butt around and you walk the other way if that energy isn't where you want to be.
Right.
And you don't have to you don't have to explain yourself either, because a lot of us, we feel like we can't say the word no. How many times have you had that situation? And you say no, and then you feel like you have to explain yourself. Well, as I've gotten older, thank goodness I've been able to say no without explaining myself.
I'm still working. Yeah, I'm still working on that. They said that when you turn 40, it's like you don't care anymore. And I'm like 5 years.
Oh no, I care, girl.
Yeah, you still care?
Oh God, I care because you know, I one of the things that I love to do, I've done since I was a little girl, is write. And last year I published my first article. I was very excited about that, and I need to challenge myself more and write more. And I do write, but I write privately. You know, and that's one of the things that I'm working on, is because I know I love what I write, and I know that somebody else will love what I write too, but I keep that to myself, and that's one of the gifts that God gave me. Really, I've realized that now, that I have the gift of conversation. I can bring up a conversation with strangers. I can walk up to anybody and be able to talk to them.
That's why we connect.
Well, but you know, and
that's good.
You know, I think because society has created everything online, right? When you go to a restaurant or you go to the drive-up window to pick something up to eat, right? To grab a water on the go, right? You know, you go up to the window, and this has happened to me before, and I don't know about you, but I'll say, oh, I like your earrings, or I like your hair, and they'll look at me like I have two heads, because they don't know how to talk anymore. I mean, really, you know, people are so used to having that text conversation or that conversation on social media, and I'm teaching my children, I work on this every day with them, that even though they're doing that, they still need to be able to have real conversations. One of the new things, what's the Snapchat? Mm-hmm. Okay, I don't know how to do that. Do you know how to do that? Okay, I don't know how to do it. My kids know how to do that, and they you know, they make fun of me, and you know, and that's wrong of them. And I point that out to them, that that's wrong, because if I want to learn, I'm gonna learn. I mean, you know me. If I want to learn, I'm gonna learn. But why would they pick on me? They're picking on me because I don't know. I wouldn't pick on them. So I point that difference out. You know?
So this is good. So as we wrap up, we just want to leave you with something that you can take, some practical things that you can take so that you can become a better friend, not only to others, but to yourself. You get to tell people how to treat you. Not that you're a bigger and better person, but you have to stand in your truth and say, this is what I stand for. These are my values. These are my morals. Not that you are going to be perfect and make it right all the time, because I sure enough I'm not a perfect person or have made right decisions and choices all the time. But guess what? I have to live with that. And not only use those things as, a disappointment or a punishment for myself, which I did, but use those as lessons. So how are you going to pause in your life today?
How are you going to reflect today?
And how are you going to move forward today? It starts with you. So love yourself. Forgive yourself. You can be able to have that conversation like Holly and I have been talking about today with others and become your best you. Elevate yourself to your best you. Yes, what has happened to you 10 years ago, 20 years ago, it has happened. I wish I can go back and erase the time of different things and experience that I've had.
I don't.
I wish, because for me, and this is good, because I feel like I know what you're going to say because those things have helped you to be the person you are today. I know that.
Yeah.
But some things I wish that it can be eliminated.
Yes.
And I'm going to share more about that. And a few of my girlfriends, inner circle, know or whatever. But it's something that I'm refusing to talk about. But I know I have to be free. And I'm not free yet to be able to talk about this one thing that I know that has been holding me back. But what do you want to leave the audience with today?
To forgive yourself. First and foremost, you have to forgive yourself for whether you at the beginning of the year you decided to make those resolutions of whether it was to better your health or it was to take that trip or to reconnect with someone, right? You need to forgive yourself. It's March. Mm-hmm. We're in March now. We still have 9 months to go, right? And we still can make those things happen. You know, even though you may have veered off, you know, you had a good idea and you decided to, I'm going to go this way, and then you need to bring yourself back to what it is that you want to accomplish, and not have other people. You know, of course, you want to help other people, but you don't want to steer away from what it is that you're here to do. We have one life, and we must live it.
That is good. Yes, and I want to tell you, a lifestyle of becoming a world-class woman is a lifestyle. It is something that you have to work on day in and day out.
And night in and night out.
Yes.
Yeah, not just day in
It
and day out.
doesn't stop.
No. Mm-hmm.
It continues to go. So many people may think that, world-class and, this is about just a lifestyle of fabulousness. No, the fabulousness is when you do the inward work. Happiness comes from within. Beauty comes from within. And love comes from within.
Oh, there's so much. We need more love. Definitely.
You cannot give what you don't have or what you don't possess. So if there's something that you need more fuel on, then that's what we're here for. We're here to help to tell you that you can make a difference, you can change, and you can become a better friend. There's a post or a meme that says that Rolls-Royce, they don't advertise on commercials and on billboards because they know their value. They don't have to say, I'm worth this. Because everyone, and the moral of that story is that everyone cannot afford the luxury of your friendship. Everyone cannot afford the luxury of being in your space. Everyone cannot afford the luxury of you having lunch with, tea time with, or whatever it is. But you have to know what value you bring to the table and know that you're bringing it from a true space and a real space. And I am so glad that we had this conversation, this dialogue today. It's just amazing. You can follow us on social media. We want to thank Samuel Fletcher, LLC, the producer behind this show today, and it's just so amazing. So you will connect with all of us, and you will see all of our information at the end of this video. Until next time, mwah. Spread the love.